Ukraine doesn't trade by territories, doesn't trade by people, and doesn't trade by sovereignty. We'll never give up our sovereignty, our territories, and our people. This is not going to happen. So if the demands of Russian Federation is, we've bitten the piece of your land, and then you just shut your mouth and just accept it. No, this will not happen. And this is a matter of time.
Ya, saya mungkin paling banyak mengangkat masalah isu Ukraina atau Ukraina dan Rusia karena saya pikir ini menarik. Konflik ini mempengaruhi seluruh dunia, tidak saja Ukraina dan Rusia. Banyak negara yang terkena inflasi, ya, kenaikan harga yang sangat menyulitkan rakyat. Dan oleh karena itu, ya, beberapa ambasador sudah hadir ke sini, dari Rusia sudah, dari Uni Eropa, dan tiba-tiba waktu saya dalam perjalanan ke Yogyakarta, saya mendapatkan satu permintaan yang luar biasa. Dubes Ukraina, ya, akan hadir. Wow, saya bilang ini yang saya tunggu. Sudah hadir. He's an ambassador, I think he's an actor. Dr Vasyl Hamianin, correct?
Yes,
my pronunciation. Not Vasyl, but Vasyl.
Benar.
Benar. Oh, bisa bahasa Indonesia?
Sedikit saja.
Apa kabar?
Baik.
Baik.
Harga naik.
Harga naik.
Kabar baik.
Kabar
harga
baik,
naik, ya.
tapi harga naik.
Because of sebabnya itu ada perang di Ukraina. That's
So
why
we have to
naik.
stop this, yeah?
Of course.
We have to
As soon
stop
as
this.
possible. That's a will of I think of half of the world.
Ya,
if not the whole world.
semua orang susah.
Susah.
Ya, semua orang suffer.
Yes.
Everybody suffer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Effectively, I think that it's well. I started to talking about this like 3 months ago, after the first month of the war.
Yes.
So now I was asked, do you think that it can lead to the Third World War? I say it is Third World War already, because too many countries involved, too many countries suffer, too many countries badly influenced by the consequences.
Bad influence, yeah.
So it is effectively the Third World War already, and we have to stop this.
That's your opinion.
Yeah, it's my opinion, and now I can explain this. Like having PhD in world history, I could just trace and compare what happened with the world like many years ago and recently, like last century, previous century, right?
Yeah.
And you can see that whenever the colonial state attacks the other state, democratic state or whatever, independent state in any case, with the plan to extend the territory, to kill the people living there, and just to make itself bigger, it is the World War. Normally it goes to the scale of the World War. It's not just a conflict as someone tries to call it. It's not like conflict you can have in a borderline. Like I shoot the territory of my neighboring country, you shoot my territory, that sort of things. There's a couple of, but this was a full-scale invasion, and we never provoked it, and we never did anything wrong during since we became independent 30 years ago.
How about the reason from Russia that, I mean, the intention from Zelensky, your president, to enter NATO as a member, NATO member, is the threat to Russia? How about that?
First of all, I would like to, before I explain this, I would say that however concerned is anyone, however concerned is the state or country or president of whatever country, it cannot justify the invasion, it cannot justify massive killings of civilians. That's what Russia does. So whatever they think, whatever they imagine in their dreams about threats, about the geopolitical games and plays and pressure from the West and whatever geopolitical processes, it cannot justify genocide against the nation, any nation.
Yeah, we agree with that.
That's it. So that's first. And second, well, it's not the intention of my president Zelensky to enter NATO. It was long before him that we enshrined in my constitution that the strategic direction of Ukrainian foreign policy is towards the Euro-Atlantic integration, meaning that strategically we are targeted at becoming members of the European Union because Ukraine belongs to Europe and has already been a part of Europe with all the culture relations and all the psychology and languages and all that, and the member of NATO. However, until now, we've never been even promised a perspective to become a NATO member. No. NATO never said that you might be given the chance to enter NATO. Never in the history. They will say, well, it's not possible. You can do something, you can try, but not possible. We will not, you'll not be accepted. Like, let's wait, whatever it is. They either avoid or say directly no. So, well, I can have intention to enter, as I try to describe this. So
it's not right, the intention for Zelensky to put Ukraine to be NATO member?
No, it's the intention of the nation, of Ukrainian nation now.
Yeah.
Before Russia attacked Ukraine in 2014, it was like 50-50. So half of the population wanted to be NATO members. Half of the population say, well, it's risky and all that. But now it's
50-50.
Yeah, before the first attack of Russia on Crimea and east of Ukraine. But now it's like about 99%.
Want to be NATO member.
So the whole nation, yes, of course, because they understand clearly.
Because of the invasion?
Because of the invasion. Because they
strengthen.
You see, to understand this, it's clear. Look at Finland and Sweden.
Yeah,
they've been neutral for centuries, not just for a couple of years. And they all of a sudden, after this attack on Ukraine, after 24th of February this year, the support for NATO membership in Finland, for example, I think it's changed from 16% to 85%, something like this. Dramatic change, dramatic, and then applied immediately because. If you look at the history again, why NATO exists, why it was established, right? It was the very logical process after the Second World War to prevent anything like a Nazi Germany attack on the world happening again. So that was a protective measure, and the NATO was created, was established as the defensive alliance, defensive, not offensive. So the main purpose is to protect. You know, Europe is unlike Asia, for example, a lot of small countries incapable to protect themselves against the powerful and aggressive neighbor.
But Ukraine is very big.
No, I mean the history of NATO, right?
Okay.
So and then it was created to protect all, to create this like payung, what is umbrella? Yeah, security umbrella against the aggressor, which was the Soviet Union. Everybody understood this. So one beast and the other beast, they fought. They fought for 5 years, and then this beast was defeated. This won, but still remaining the beast and the threat to Europe, to democracy. You know, I was growing up in the Soviet Union. I know what it is. It's a threat to democracy and to anything, to anything good like sovereignty and independence, whatever. Yeah. So NATO was created. Then it was a threat, it was viewed as a threat by the Soviet Union. Yes. And then Soviet Union created its Warsaw Pact. So it became the balance in this.
Yeah.
But after the collapse of the Soviet Union, there's no Soviet Union anymore. Instead of the dictatorship that existed for 70 years in the Soviet Union, a lot of states, like 15 states, emerged and appeared like democratic states with parliaments, with real elections, with openness. They can trade, they can travel, they can invest, they can do whatever they want. So those 15 states were integrated into world system of democracy, of rule of law, of military cooperation, of economic cooperation, banking, blah, blah, blah. So why should this concern remain? After all, right? So, but in some time, if you go back to 2007, this very famous Munich speech of Vladimir Putin, after it, he made very clear that Russian Empire would fight for things belongs to Russia. It would fight for Belarus, Kazakhstan, Baltic states, Ukraine on the first position. Not many people believed it. Not many people paid much attention to it. They say, "Oh my God, Russia is like that's weak and not so strong," and I mean, like behaving a bit like being G8 and all that. I mean, Russia would understand what will happen after it really attacks anyone, and then Putin started testing the world with, you know, Moldova, Georgia, Chechen War, Karabakh, then Chechen War II. By the way, in this war, you know, like hundreds of thousands of civilians were killed by Russian army, of Muslims, of Chechen Muslims. Then Georgia in 2008 occupied 20% of its territory. Then 2014, Ukraine. And then they saw, well, the world's reaction is like nearly nearly zero. No reaction. Oh my God. They declared something like, we are concerned, we are how they say that, we, forgot the word. We, oh my God. We condemn the aggression, we condemn the occupation of Crimean territory, we impose sanctions on Abkhazia in Georgia, we impose sanctions on Crimea. They say, so what? Okay, it's nothing. For us, it's like a mosquito biting me, it's nothing, you can just, and let go. That's why they decided to finally to attack Ukraine. Nothing to do with NATO, it's the concern of Putin, it's concern of, I would say it was a concern of Russian imperialism to be great, and like Russian Empire was big, never successful, never victorious in wars. Remember First World War, Japan War, Finland War, whatever. Always like very, like, I would not use the word proud, but like thinking itself great, right? Superficial, very, very superficial, telling that we Russians are great, we are big brothers, and all those, no. And then all of a sudden they lost control over the territories. They used to control totally. And then how can Putin, being the like KGB and all that stuff, how can stand that he is the master of the half of the world, the king of the biggest territorially, the biggest country in the world, having everything in his life. What he wants, people are suffering in Russia, like no toilets, no gas, no water, but he's living in palaces, and say, after this, what should I want more? Of course, I want to restore my empire.
Okay.
And this was the main reason for that. Nothing about NATO.
Nothing about NATO.
Of course not. Look, if NATO wanted really to, like, as they said, to extend, NATO is a defensive organization, alliance, and it is about countries to ask for membership. Not like NATO say, we will extend. Who wants? Okay, let's come here. No, listen, if you want to become NATO member, it's long process. They will think, they will consider, they will give you homework. They accomplish this homework to meet the standards, and then you enter. It's not about extension, it's about the willingness of the sovereign states to join the club. That's why if NATO is extending, or had this will, or had this intention to extend, NATO would say what? Guys, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, see guys, join us. Immediately, tomorrow we'll give you the membership. All these Belarus, Kazakhstan, like all of them. You think they wouldn't join? They will, gladly. I mean, half of them definitely will. But they never said this. I never promised to Ukraine. I never promised to Georgia and to Moldova. Never. Whatsoever. You see? So this is a core of Russian propaganda. Lies. They built everything upon lies, upon the wrong assumptions, upon the wrong facts, and without true historic background. That's how they win the support from the. Yeah, it's a grave concern. What if? Oh my God! I can shout in front of Minister of Foreign Affairs, I want to be a diplomat. So what? I can shout every day for 10 years. So does this make me diplomat, or does it give me a perspective to being diplomat? Never. They think you're mad. I mean, okay, let him shout. Let him say, I want to be a diplomat. So what? Same with NATO. Say, we want to become NATO member. Okay, so what? It doesn't give me any prospects. doesn't give me any.
Okay,
Yeah?
Your Excellency. Okay, you can read. We know that Ukraine is not the NATO member yet. Yeah. What do you think, in your opinion, why U.S. and also NATO member very, very badly, support Ukraine with anything, with weapon, with anything? Why? What is the reason? Because Ukraine is not a member,
very
right?
simple. This is about the neutrality, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of people talk about neutrality here, right? In terms of relationship, in terms of existing relations between Ukraine and the Western world, we don't have any obligations. We don't have anything like to make them, to force them, or to be obliged to support or do something. It's about principles. It's about principles of democracy. It's about what side are you standing at. This war, I repeat, not about Ukraine and Russia. Now, right? It was like a reason for this war, a reason Putin started it. It was about Russia and Ukraine. But now it's not. It's about whether colonialism will win or democracy can protect its sovereignty and independence. That's about that. So the countries, the people choose. Are you standing on this side of like protecting the territorial integrity of sovereign state? You support this, then do something. You support the aggression, then okay, you can do something else. For example, just people make choice, states make choice. That's why, I mean, I cannot imagine European countries wishing to have this aggressor next to them. Why? Who is the best, the strongest supporter of us in Europe? I'm not talking about the Canada and United States. In Europe, who? The UK, Poland, Baltic states. Why? Because Baltic states and Poland remember and know what was the Soviet Union, what a demon it was, how dangerous it was, and how cruel it was to its own citizens and to the neighbors. That's why they they gave us everything they had to stop it, because otherwise they will be next. They will be attacked next. It's obvious. I mean, otherwise, why should small countries like Lithuania, Estonia, and Latvia being threatened by Putin every day? That will hit you with missiles, blah, 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 blah. We'll attack, we'll get through, break through to Kaliningrad and all this stuff. And they still give everything they can to Ukraine. Why? Because it's about democracy. It's about colonialism. It's the fight. I think it's the last fight of really last attempt. It's an agony of colonial system, because after Russia is defeated, and it's inevitable now, it's obvious and inevitable, then the colonial system will end. The history of colonialism in the world will end. Till now, it still is in Russian terms. So that's why they're supporting us. That's why they give us. Well, I must say that we would like to get more support from them. If the support was like, if the support is like Russia tries to describe it, then I think 2 months ago Russia will be finished totally. First month we didn't get anything from the West. Nothing. Nothing. We're just fighting with guerrilla weapons, like Stinger, Javelin, things that cannot stop the army. But Ukrainians managed. They stopped the armies, and even kicked off them from the north, from the center, they prevented Odessa, they protected Odessa, and all that. So this is it about. You fight for what is right, or you just ignore everything.
Okay, how about the reason from Russia that they fight against the neo-Nazi movement in Ukraine?
There's no neo-Nazi movement in Ukraine. It's it's propaganda, lies created by Russians. I sent your assistant,
my son,
the document.
my producer,
Oh, it's your son.
My producer,
Oh yeah.
Wita. Okay.
I sent the document, which gives in 5 pages, I think. It analyzes what is Nazism, what is fascism, and how it can be applied to Ukraine or to Russia. Right. If you go to Wikipedia, it's very simple. Look what is Nazism and fascism. well, they are nearly the same, but Nazism is like German fascism of that period of time, but nearly the same. Now, first, dictatorship or democracy? One. Ukrainian presidents change every 5 years. In Russia, how many years? 22 already. So where is the democracy? Where is the fascism? Second, superficial attitude towards the other nations. If you just know what happened in Soviet times and it happens now, we are Russians, all the rest are like second, like a bit not as good as us. Yeah, in Ukraine we have 130, I think, ethnic groups living together, like Jewish people, Muslims, Christians, Orthodox, Catholics living together in the same city, becoming friends, doing business, and like living together. This doesn't happen in Russia. Okay, so it's the second one. Third, expansion of territories. It's very important characteristic feature of fascism. They have to expand. They have to prove that, you know. Fourth, our interests are everywhere in the world. We discover Russian-speaking people anywhere will go and fight this country to protect or to liberate, whatever they mean. If you want really to understand this, again, for your audience, right? Yes. I'm describing it's long story. I had to read you have to read books to understand this, fascism and all, at least Wikipedia, right? But if you want to understand, just look at the Second World War, how it started. Hitler started to declared to protect German-speaking people in Czechoslovakia, in Austria, and then he stated that Jewish are a threat to German statehood, etc., etc., and that he started the war, and the results you know, right? And in this situation, many years ago, like what, 70 plus years ago, what happened? The civilized world, not yet occupied by Russian Germany, meaning United States, the UK, they stood strong against this invasion. Yeah, they helped Soviet Union a lot. I mean, Soviet Union will never win if not the United States. The United States supported it so much. Otherwise, Hitler will be in Vladivostok in months' time. No doubts about this. No doubts. Because at that time, Soviet army was weak and badly trained and like not capable of fighting, really. So, yeah. So how can you imagine Nazi? Oh my God, Nazi! No. Listen. It's very simple. When you have the dictatorship, like Nazism, right, in whatever country, right, and then someone comes to liberate the people, say, we will liberate you from Nazi. Yeah. What people do? Well, at least they say thank you and support it. At least they stay neutral. Okay, you come, you do whatever. We don't care. What Ukrainians did, when liberators come, they run towards the Nazi government. They run to the west, not to the east. They run from the east. They don't want to be liberated by Russians. Liberation by Russians means I liberate you from everything, from your property, from your lives, from your dignity. You know, raping, killing, and torturing. So they run to they seek protection from Zelensky government, Nazi government. It's logic. I mean, it's logic. People, let's imagine, you are afraid. You would run to the people who will probably kill you or do something wrong to you? No. All run this westwards. So who is Nazi here? Okay.
How do you see maybe the end of this war? Do you see it will be over very soon, or it will take a long time before finish?
I'm not Ratu Joyoboyo to make prophecies.
No, Ratu Joyoboyo.
Of course, yes. A great prophet of Mataram, I think. No, it's not Mataram. It's different. I forgot.
Jawa.
What? Yeah, it was. Yes, he's Jawa. But I can only analyze what's happening.
Yes.
And
what is your analysis?
It's sometimes analysis is based on the experience. Yeah. Is based on knowing the enemy or knowing whom I'm talking about with, and it just doesn't. In this situation, 1 + 1 + 1 is not 3. Yeah. doesn't add up to 3. 1 plus 1 can be 8, because I have something in my mind, in my experience, that I cannot explain in 5 minutes, because I repeat, I was grown up in Soviet Union. I know Russians too well. I know what they are capable of. I know what they can really do, and I know how corrupt they are and all that stuff. You know, I know like basically everything about this country. So based on this, my prediction will be, depending on the intensity of weapon supplies and ammunition supplies from the West, from our partners, not only from the West, but I mean many countries help us. Depending on this, the war might end in the beginning of September, maybe the end of year, maybe if it is like it's the hot stage of the war, of this war. Maybe it will grow into the, well, they say that can grow into the frozen conflict, but I doubt it very much, because after the tens of thousands killed by Russians, civilians, after the hundreds of thousands injured, after the millions of refugees and displaced persons, Ukrainian army would not stop and will not allow this frozen conflict to happen. So the end of this will be, well, you see, we are dreaming about the soon end of the war. We are dreaming about that war ends this minute, this second. We didn't start it. We didn't want it. We agreed on everything, like to negotiate. But what we didn't agree is, that's what Lavrov and we call it Minister of Propaganda Sergei Ribbentrop, normally between us, and the dictator Putin, what they say all the time, that we described our conditions, our demands, and Ukraine never agreed on them. So what the conditions are: you should surrender, you should recognize the territories occupied now as Russian territories or independent states from Ukraine, just to stop it. Okay, and this is the price to end the war. This is the price for peace. And then in early March, I said in some interview, Ukraine doesn't trade by territories, doesn't trade by people, and doesn't trade by sovereignty. We'll never give up our sovereignty, our territories, and our people. This is not going to happen. So if the demands of Russian Federation is, we've bitten the piece of your land, and then you just shut your mouth and just accept it. No, this will not happen. And this is a matter of time. If we are incapable of resistance, like not having weapons, enough weapons, this would have taken some time. But since we hope that we'll get more nice, precise weapons and powerful, I think that may be a matter of months.
Yes, that's all over dual, you know, every country's want this conflict stop. Yeah, that's all our aspiration.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Yeah. Okay. I heard the news, you know, that Zelensky fired 5 ambassadors of Ukraine.
No, it's not firing, it's replacing. This is
replacing.
Yeah.
Because I read the news, you know, from the media.
They used that was wrong word they used.
Replacing. You mean replacing? They changed the position.
You see, listen. During last 4 months of the war, my president replaced already like 10 maybe or more ambassadors from different countries, meaning that those normally we have the 4 years assignment. For 4 years. But the ambassadors he replaced, I think they have 7 years, 6 years, 8 years. So it's long time.
Yeah.
And I think the idea.
So you think it is normal?
Absolutely. I mean,
nothing. No reason behind that.
No. I know those ambassadors. You know what? Fire and replace. What is the difference? When you are fired, right? You come back, you get nothing. When you are replaced, you come back to Ukraine and you get nice position, nice job.
Okay.
So I think that so far fired ambassadors were promoted, so they get nice nice positions because they are experienced, and president and my minister maybe decided that it will be more useful to have them here rather than there. And then the new ambassadors who are keen and active and all that go there. It's very normal.
So it's a replacement.
Yes, it's replacement. It's very normal, no problem. You just check the biographies of any of those ambassadors. Over 5 years serving abroad. So it's, yeah.
Okay, good. And, you know, there is a very interesting news when, what do you think about Pak Jokowi's visit to Ukraine and Russia?
Oh, this is a historic visit.
Yeah.
A historical visit. No doubt about that. I mean, for Ukraine, it's first visit of Indonesian president.
ASEAN leaders, you know?
No. Of Indonesian president since the independence.
So independent, yeah.
Second, it's the first visit of Asian
leaders, yeah.
Since the beginning of the war. And it's the first visit of the world leaders, among the world leaders, the first world leader who visited Ukraine and then Russia, trying to build up bridges.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the vision of Indonesian leadership. It's the vision of Pak Jokowi, Bu Retno, whom I respect and whose admirer I am. The vision was to try to build up bridges between Ukraine and Russia. Well, I don't know what, like, I can make assumptions on what I heard, but not what I saw, right? Not what they think or something, but what I saw, it was real willingness to do something tangible and something important and something efficient, to stop the war, to unblock Ukrainian grains, to resume deliveries of Ukrainian grains to the world markets, and to prevent the food crisis, to prevent starvation by in many countries, and all that. It was it was a great mission, and I think that the decision they made was a historical one. Now, having the provided that Indonesia is having the presidency in G20,
yes,
and will preside in ASEAN next year. So obviously, what Indonesia does as the chair of the G20 is something global rather than regional, and Indonesia is turning effectively into a global power. On our eyes, it's a history here. Yeah.
And you appreciate that?
I appreciate it very much. And for all the critics of this process, I would say that, I mean, you can never or try to make an example. If you want to move the stone on your way, which is like 100 tons,
yes,
you should make a decision and make a first step, and then go on doing this.
Sure.
And then you will get the tunnel or something.
Yeah.
If you don't make an effort, the first effort, it will never happen. It will never start. And then what they did is made this effort. You cannot expect that first step will be like absolutely 100% efficient and it resolve all the problems and Putin will stop the war. No, this is not, we didn't expect this. But the first, it was the very symbolic visit. It was the exemplary visit. So he became like an example for all the world. Let's try to do this. Let's try to build up bridges. Let's try to. I think that from the other side of this problem, many world leaders now understood that Putin is not capable of negotiating. He's not capable of peace talks and all that. He's not capable of dialogue. That's why it doesn't happen with other world leaders. They know it's useless to go to Moscow. I mean, I think Putin made a very humiliative move towards President Jokowi, because when Pak Jokowi arrived in Moscow, the same day Putin bombed Ukrainian cities heavily. It was a massive missile strike on Odessa and other cities. And I think there was a very clear demonstration what he wants, and very clear demonstration that peace efforts, like you see Pak Jokowi, it doesn't work, because I'm here, I'm a dictator here. I'm a guy who will like move the world, whatever you say, whatever we want. That's what I think. That's what I saw from the look at the press conference. Pak Jokowi was talking about the peace, about the food crisis, about the food security, yes, about the energy security,
fertilizer,
about everything, like food security, energy security, everything. And Putin was talking about what? Bilateral things and like a mythology he creates in his mind about like helping the world with nuclear power stations, whatever. Crazy. He doesn't care about what's going on in Ukraine, the Putin one. So the visit was symbolic, very important, and I think it was very important for understanding by the Indonesian leadership, or real understanding. When you see the guy face to face, you talk to them, you ask him questions, then you get answers, and then finally you make decision. You have a very clear picture. Who is he? What he's capable of? And what he's trying to do, after all, right? So I believe that this is like ultimate understanding of what is Putin, you see. So yeah, and you see I think this was very clearly reflected during the G20 foreign ministers meeting in Bali. The attitude of the world towards Russia.
Zelensky will come?
No, I mean the recent meeting in Bali of foreign ministers meeting.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
but Zelensky will come to the
Nobody
G20?
knows. Nobody knows if he can or not. He expressed it very clearly that if the circumstances allow, if the security situation in Ukraine allows him to leave the country for some time, because it's not a neighboring visit, right? It's like a long way all across the world to Bali and all that. So it requires a couple of days. It's not just like you go and come. No, it will be like a week's visit. And if President leaves the country when in grave danger, that might be like not appropriate. But he will participate online in any case. Let's see what happens. If the war is over by that time, by November, it's still a lot of time, unfortunately, till.
Anything can happen.
Yeah, if the war is over, which I hope, then I think yes, he'll be glad to come.
Yeah.
Of course. This is like I don't question this. This is no problem.
Okay, Your Excellency. Next question.
Putin will not.
I don't know.
For sure. No, I promise. I can bet. No, he will not come.
After what happened in Bali?
That's one. After, I mean, every dictator has a problems with self-dignity, so-called dignity, right? He has no dignity, but still, with his pride. And if he's humiliated, if he's not being shaken hands, if he's not being talked to, like people just boycott him, just turn around and walk, you know? And the journalists say, when you stop the war and all that. No collective photos, no collective, summary documents. This is humiliation to him, and he will not stand it. The second reason is he is coward. He is a coward. He is hiding somewhere in the bunker, 300 meters, 300 meters beneath the surface. And compared to Zelensky, who visited many times the battlefields, actually, like 10 kilometers from the very fierce battlefield. He's a coward. And can you imagine Putin crawling out of his bunker, getting on the plane and cross the half of the planet? Dangerous, risky. What if a missile, what if anything happens, you know? Too many people hate him. Too many people hate him. Like the world hated Hitler many years ago.
Okay, Your Excellency, next question. When our president, made the press conference beside Putin, and he said that he delivered the message from your president, and your president staff, deny that. Which one is right?
You see, I think that I remember one of my favorite films called Lost in Translation. I think that was a matter of true interpretation and the meaning of the word message I took. I took the Mr. Zelensky's message.
Yes.
And I took message from Mr. Zelensky. I took the message out of meeting with Mr. Zelensky is different things, and it will depend how to translate it, how to deliver it. So I can confirm that, to my knowledge, right, there was no written message. Even the
no written message.
No, even the king of Russian propaganda, Peskov, confirmed it. So no written message, and to my knowledge, there was no like direct message, verbal. No direct verbal message, because my president said that, well, if I want to say something to Putin, I can deliver it myself. I have nothing to hide. I know him. I understand what he wants. So he wants to kill us, to destroy us. So whatever message I want to pass to Mr. Putin, I can do it directly, openly, in public. That's what my president said. But there is important thing referring to the message. It was the first meeting of our presidents, Pak Zelensky and Pak Jokowi. It was the first visit of Pak Jokowi dan Ibu Negara to Ukraine. They saw it with their own eyes, what happens, how to get through and all that. They felt it. They, I think that understood a lot. Because you understand, when you see, you understand more than if you just hear about it or read the news or watch TV, right? So they understood a lot, and they discussed a lot. I was not present on that meeting, right? It was a tete-a-tete meeting, so I was not present on it. But I can understand that Pak Jokowi can perceive a lot of impressions, of meanings, of the like essence of what is going on in Ukraine and what do we want actually, what Ukraine wants. And this was the message from Zelensky to Putin. Not taken from the words of Zelensky, like directly, please tell Putin something. No, but he said, we want this. We want that Russia do this. We hope that Russia do this. If Russia does this, we will do this and this, right? And this is the message. This is a clear message you can take. Yeah. So it's not like, being authorized to please take these words, like security words. No. It's clear message. What is Ukraine?
But I think Russia? Our president is not wrong too, right? It's not wrong either.
No, he absolutely right. I mean, I was not surprised. I had this. He took message. I said, yeah, okay, normal. He took message. I would take message too, even if I was not told, asked, or something, because there is a message. For example, I give you a very simple example. That's what I'm asked many times. Russia always says that it does not create any obstacles on the way of resuming the deliveries of grains of Ukraine, from Ukraine to the world, right? No obstacles. We are ready. Can just any time, right? Now, the message was very clear. Under these words, there are 3 demands by Russian Federation. First, to demine the Aquatoria around Odessa, which will give the direct access of Russian battleships to Odessa ports. Second, no convoys, military convoys of Ukrainian vessels with grains. No convoys. Third, all the vessels coming in or out of Ukrainian ports should be examined by Russian military ships. So this is blockade. This is blockade. But they never say so. They just, they say, oh, we are not against, it's fine. But you do this, 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 and this. This cannot be achieved. We would not agree on that, because this is violating all the rights, all the freedom of navigation, and it is blockade, military blockade of our ports. If they examine, if they no convoy is allowed, and then it opens a lot of space for provocations. So that is the message. For example, I just fantasizing, but this can be the message. Guys, I know the truth about the real demands of Russian Federation. So please, how can you respond to that? How can we come to the compromise, for example? Yeah. That's what, by the way, that's what I think that Turkey and the UN are trying to do, trying to achieve, trying to persuade them to be reasonable, at least in this part of the war, right? Try not to blackmail the world with famine, with starvation, and they're doing so.
Okay, thank you for your time, Ambassador. You want to say maybe your closing statement?
Closing statement, I think I will repeat maybe something I said many times, but I still want to repeat to the audience, to the people who can think, who are capable of thinking, analyzing, all that. Two things, maybe, or three things. First thing, don't blatantly believe Russian propaganda, because propaganda is evil, and it's directed not to protect anyone, even their own country, but to invade, to kill, to murder, to destroy. Second, if you want to understand really what's happening, please, anyone, just spare maybe 10 minutes of your time. Dig a bit deeper than just on the surface of this propaganda. Because what they say is really is like, can I take 1 minute more?
Yeah.
It's very simple. All I want to say, if you imagine the lake, like a clear lake, like Danau, right?
Yeah.
With potable water. You can swim, you can drink. And then somehow you get the barrel of oil, yeah? Minyak tanah. And then you spill this over the surface. Then someone approaches the lake. What we would see? The brownish, like all these rainbow colors surface of the, what you would think? There are two opportunities. First, it just contaminated, like surface is dirty with oil. Mm-hmm. Yeah? And second option, it is the Danau of oil. Yeah. So I cannot swim. So how do you check it? You can blow the wind and see, oh, it's water downstairs. Or you can just take a branch, say, destroy this film of oil, and then you'll see the truth. So I ask everyone, if you want really to understand, waste 5 minutes of your time, spare these 5 minutes or 10 minutes of your time. Take the branch, take the effort, break this film of dirty oil on the surface, and you will see the truth. Don't follow the wrong assumptions. Stay strong, stay healthy, be happy.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador, for your time.
It's my pleasure.
Oke, ini wawancara saya ke-8 membahas tentang ini ya. 2 kali Dr. Koni, Prof. Hikmahanto, Darmansyah Jumala, mantan Dubes Indonesia untuk Polandia dan juga Austria. Kemudian mantan Dubes Indonesia untuk Ukraina, Prof. Yudi Krisnandi. Kemudian juga saya sudah juga menginterview mantan Dubes Indonesia for Washington, Dino Patijalal. Dan saya juga sudah wawancara Ambassador of Russia, Ludmila. After that, Dubes Uni Eropa, ya, Vincent Piquet. Now, the Ambassador of Ukraine for Indonesia, Mr. Dr. Vasyl Hamianin. Ya, semua memberikan perspektif. Tinggal kita just check, ya. Silakan berpendapat, berpikir. Kita semua adalah orang-orang dewasa, just check everything. Jadi saya berusaha untuk sangat netral, memberikan kesempatan kepada seluruh narasumber saya untuk berpendapat. Ya, terima kasih sudah bersama saya, dan kita berharap perang akan segera berakhir. Ya, saya tidak kebayang ya kalau perang akan terus-menerus. Dunia sudah menderita, dan my guest, tamu saya sudah mengatakan sebenarnya perang dunia ketiga sudah terjadi. Yang dimaksudkan oleh beliau, perang dunia ketiga sudah terjadi. Kenapa? Karena konflik antara Ukraina dan Rusia sudah berdampak kepada banyak negara di seluruh dunia. Is it right?
Benar.
Benar. Dia bisa bahasa Indonesia. Oke, terima kasih, dan kita jumpa dengan tamu hebat saya selanjutnya. Bye-bye. Terima kasih sudah menonton Helmy Yahya Bicara. Jangan lupa untuk like, komen, share, dan subscribe.